Hey, what's up, friends? Eric Carmaker coming at you from Real Estate and Shit, episode number 3. First and foremost, be sure to subscribe to that channel below. Guys, please subscribe. Also, leave your comments, good, bad, or ugly. We love all your input. So be sure to leave some comments for us. Hopefully it's the love side of your comments. Thanks for tuning in today. We've got a really cool segment for you guys. As you know, our podcast is Real Estate and Shit, so we cover a bunch of real estate topics, whether it be nationally, locally, and then my phone rings to screw it all up. But yes, we cover topics nationally and locally, and then the shit part of it. You know, we like to cover things that are just spicy in the market, things that are spicy in our news. Today I got something spicy about Yeezy. If you don't know who Yeezy is, Chris, I kind of informed him prior to this starting this this whole segment. So I got some really cool stuff for you guys. And before we even get into this, let's introduce our guest. You guys, I hope you guys are at home clapping right now like someone just walked on stage. But yes, you know, we have Chris Fox. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
What's new, man? What's going on? I see your Sold by Fox shirt. You're looking good. You got some shorts on. Did you get a haircut? What's going on? You look different.
I'm just podcast ready, bro.
Ooh, podcast ready. We're gonna. Can we like trademark that?
Hashtag.
On our shirt. I like it. We got those coming. Also, we got Sadie. How you doing today, Sadie?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
By the way, I like the shirt.
Thank you.
Not that we're just like tooting the Element shirt and merch, but that's a
fun. It's like
badass looking shirt.
Thanks. We like it to be discreet. You know, I like the hat too.
It's very discreet. 3 huge brand logos right across your chest.
Yeah, but then they add.
And she designed it.
Hey, you know
ding,
what?
ding, 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 ding.
Right.
If you got it, flaunt it. It's fine, all right? We all get clients runway. No, just kidding.
No, that was awesome.
This is great.
No, I'm great. I'm good. Fresh off Tom Ferry.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
excited. I know. I
Ferry.
just popped that bubble from the beginning, but
I forget. You know, it's funny. I didn't even add that in this segment. Before we get into anything, we just got back from Tom Ferry. What is some great take? We just got back from a real estate convention in Dallas. Tom Ferry, Google his name. Does growth for real estate agents, techniques, tactics, how to get real estate agents to the next level. We've been with him for like 10 years. Sadie and Chris, this is your first time attending in Dallas or any event for Tom Ferry. Give it to me. Give me like 30 seconds each of what your takeaways were and the impact that it brought to you.
you want to go, Chris?
Ooh, who's going first? Actually, let's go. Actually, you know, let's edge him into this. You start first, Sadie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm pumped.
I can tell.
I learned a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I met a lot of awesome people. I got super motivated. I have a full list of books. Everyone jokes like, "Oh, you drank the Kool-Aid." I drank the Kool-Aid. I sipped on it.
Kool-Aid too.
Yeah, it was so
sweet.
strong.
I love it. Yeah.
I chugged it. It was good.
Absolutely.
It's fine. And outside of Tom Ferry, I mean, Dallas is fun. Like Dallas is.
okay.
We went to Bere.al. Yeah.
Look at that.
We made a lot of friends.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends from Atlanta now. Shout out to Brandon. I have a lot of. He's gonna watch this. I met a lot of cool people that are also like my age, like mid-20s, in the business, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Met Robert Mack.
Yeah.
Met Tom Toole.
Agreed.
Met a ton of really inspirational people. So it was super fun. I learned a lot. I'm really motivated, and I'm using the actual like book.
Give me a book. What's the book called?
No, well, the book I'm reading right now is Miracle Morning.
Ooh, okay.
Awesome.
Good book, by the way, everyone. If you haven't picked that book up, I would recommend it.
Life-changing.
Great, life-changing, game changer.
But Tom Ferry also gives you that, like the Bible. It's like a 200-page book for notes and QR codes. So I've been referring to that too. So
nice.
A lot of good stuff.
Great stuff. Okay, okay. More than what I thought. What about you, Chris? What are some just great things that you experienced from the Tom Ferry Summit?
I've never really been in a coach, and I've never been coached before, so it was a new experience for me, and I'm into it. I mean, it's like to be there in a community of people all motivated and, you know,
all like you.
Yeah, trying to strive to be better and to have, you know, coaches at that level, you know, sharing what works.
It's crazy.
You know, giving us like every day. I was like, I couldn't take notes fast enough, and I'm not a you know, real quick note taker. And I'm like, I can't. What was that?
I know it. Can you rewind that?
Can we?
Yeah,
it was just nonstop good stuff. Like stuff that's like ready to go, ready to come home and start using immediately.
You know what blows my mind is I feel that getting your real estate license, you should be required to do something like this because you don't know. It's funny. My biggest takeaway was not necessarily all the information we got, but I started going to Tom Ferry back in 2009 and 10. So a long time ago for me is what it feels like.
Yeah.
But when I was going to these events, everybody was Shar and Dennis's age. Everybody was in their 60s and late 50s, early 70s, maybe even early 80s. And then there was like me. And like maybe 4 other people like myself, and I felt like such a fish out of water.
Everybody was probably like suited
and booted. I actually wore suits. I actually got custom made suits for these things because I was like, I needed to get in, needed to feel like I was a part of it.
Yeah.
But going to Tom Ferry this last week is the first time that I've realized real estate got sexy. Like I thought I was at a maximum party. Like I thought I was at like these crazy events that you'd see for like Sports Illustrated. Everybody was dressed up, whether it be the women or the men. Everybody looked great. The women were in beautiful outfits. The men looked really nice and cut and clean. And I thought to myself, actually, at one time or two, I looked around and I was like, where am I? This is not normal.
You were in a different section because the guy next to me, he had a sexy mustache, but he also had sandals on. And I was like, should have worn my sandals.
Damn sandal game, huh?
It's a spectrum. I mean, but
big spectrum.
But the parties were popping.
Parties were popping.
Yeah.
Bam! Shout out to Bam, Broke Agent. You guys had a really good party. Byron, shout out to you as well. All you guys, Dan, you guys killed it. So yeah, there was a great party that they threw. Did you guys make it to the Bam party?
No.
Oh
okay.
my gosh!
Ready for this?
What?
I was watching their podcast, and they were like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Had all these drinks. It rained. We couldn't get up. I'm looking at the camera now. We couldn't get up into the elevator because there was too many people. Because that's how poppin' it was, which is okay. Like, whatever.
Over capacity.
Yeah. So we went to Boomtown, and we had a great time at the Boomtown party, too. They were both really fun. I mean, I didn't go to BAM. I heard it was awesome.
It was.
But that's
no matter where
that's
you
how
went,
awesome
there
was
was just fun being had.
You know what? When you're in an environment between 8 and 10,000 people, all on the same trajectory or trying to be in the same trajectory as you are, you find commonality in a lot of people, and everyone's open. And everyone's willing to share and tell you what they're doing.
Except during lunch when you're trying to get food.
Except when you're getting lunch trying to get food, of course. Always like that, you know?
It's like a herd of cattle coming out at the same time.
Don't mess with food, you know, or species, you know? It's the one thing you don't want to mess with food.
People were running. It was like when the school bell rang for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Out the door.
You know, people ran for 2 reasons. One for food and the one to get in their first seats in the morning.
Yeah.
It was crazy both ways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds like it was a good event. Okay. So, again, thanks for tuning in. We just got back from Tom Ferry. I'm glad you guys joined in. So let's get into some like real shit from this segment that I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys. We've got a filled podcast today, a lot of topics to cover. First, I'm just going to go over some monthly stats. So anyone that is watching our podcast that lives local in the area, you live in Claremont, you live in Rancho, Upland, Ontario, Chino Hills, Orange County, Los Angeles, Pasadena. I'm not going to name every city, but you know what I'm talking about if you live in our little corridor. I'm going to give you guys some information from the Citrus Valley Association of Realtors, which is our MLS. And I kind of covered a little bit about last week, but, you know, just one more time, kind of give you guys an idea of what's happening in our current local market. I will tell you right now, it says here, quick facts, it's a negative 35% change in closed sales on all properties. So that means on closed properties are actually down 35%. It doesn't say by price. It just says change in closed sales, 35%. So I think sales are down by 35%, not necessarily prices. But it does say there's a 5% increase on all medium sale prices. So
I think this is an immediate reaction. I think this is an illustration of more motivated sellers that have already picked their next, goal. And they have enough equity that they can, drop 50 grand to accelerate their next, stage. And about the quality of life, not so much capturing all the money. So I'm curious to see what that line looks like after, 6 months.
I can't wait.
Because I feel like it's an immediate, I don't feel like we're going to decrease drastically. I feel like it's a short, spectrum that we're looking at. It's a very short.
I hope so, because, it's funny you say that. I have something to challenge you with a little bit later in a couple articles, talk about from some economists off CNBC that's saying 2023 is going to be a recession year and real estate's going to be in the pooper. Yeah. So I'm interested on that because I almost
hope it does. So I'm I'm okay.
Well, you know
with
what?
it.
I'm going to look straight into the camera on this one. You know why it's going to be beneficial for us? Not even on the real estate side if this does. You know how many bad agents are in this market? You know how many bad agents give us a bad rep because they just got their license and they're not good and they don't have good ethics or morals and they should never have had a license? They're going to all go bye-bye. And for that, I'm going to be saying sayonara.
Yeah. It'll just be the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. And we've been talking about this for a decade with Tom Ferry. This is what's happening. Like, we've been preparing for this for years, and now it's happening, and it's actually kind of a good thing. Okay. And then also, really quickly on these quick facts, there's been a 20% increase on home sales. 20% increase change in homes for sale, all properties. So it sounds like there's been a 20% increase on homes for sale, but a 35% decrease on closed sales.
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of interesting, no?
Yeah, but it's simple economics, supply and demand. The buyers aren't, as motivated, and some sellers are, and those motivated sellers have made drastic adjustments to accomplish their goal.
I like that.
But I think that you'll see going long term that motivation from the buyers will come back.
Yeah.
And sellers will immediately stand their ground more.
Okay. Do you think sellers need to stand their ground more, or do you think sellers need to be more?
It depends on what their goals are. How.
Okay.
If they're in a place in their life where they're not gonna, waste 6 months or a year over 50 grand or 100 grand, it doesn't make that big of a they'd rather be on the beach.
Agreed.
Then reduce and
move. You're leaning into the motivation on sellers.
Yeah,
I can, and you should be.
And it depends on what direction they're going, what their goals are in their life. It's very seller specific.
It is very seller specific. I'm just in a mindset that I feel that all sellers, even the ones that are putting homes in escrow, that are putting their houses at good values, I just feel like it's going to be something that all sellers are battling right now, based on what they could have got 3-4 months ago, based on what market conditions are showing them now. It's like you have to take that, you have to swallow the pill, to understand it. And as much as you wanted something back in the past, you're at a turn, or you're at a fork in the road that you have to go one way or the other. And I feel like the stubborn sellers right now ultimately are going to be paying the price, because it's weird, it's funny. Most sellers don't get this. Okay, you get one chance to sell your house. You don't get 2 and you don't get 3. That footprint stays on the MLS forever, unless you wait another year and it finally erases and resets itself. People see that. Oh, it's been on for 3 months. Oh, it's been on for 6 months.
Blood in the water.
Yep.
We're lowballing them.
3 agents had this. Oh, 2 agents had this. Oh my gosh, there's something wrong. Oh, let's go real low. Yeah. And then the sellers then are really screwed and pushed up against the wall, because
it takes more effort and money to fix that.
Oh my gosh,
than
so
what
much
they
so.
think they saved by
trying to have some high price and trying to negotiate down,
or just not hiring or paying
the right person to tell them.
The first time.
I feel like we're in a situation like that in our actual brokerage, but I'm not going to say anything. Anyways, let's continue to move forward. So new listings right now, just so you guys know, anyone watching local market, our new listings from last year to this year, from month over month, are down 17%. That's on the month of July. Very interesting. Pending sales in the month of July, year over year, are down 43%. So there's something interesting happening in the water, no?
Yeah, but I think there's other variables that we're not taking into consideration. Back to school, I think, was probably more, of an adjustment for most families.
Yeah.
A lot of children have, I know my daughter's been homeschooled for the last couple of years, so for us, it was a bigger adjustment getting her prepared for school. If I was shopping for a home, that would have certainly been set on the sideline.
You're right.
During that process. So I think with, the whole education environment and what families have been through the last couple of years with COVID and getting back to that normalcy, I think that, families are distracted right now, and they have noticed interest rates have gone up a little bit, and they have noticed a little more days on the market. So there's not that sense of urgency, but I don't think it's just because of the real estate market or just because of interest rates. I think, we need to take those other variables into consideration.
I agree. And it's really funny for those, not funny, it's positive for the sellers that actually are in that situation. Medium sales price and average sales price year over year in the month of July are both up 9%.
See, and Robert Mack said it's like being a Formula One race car driver, it's like.
What do you say?
He's like, when you're a Formula One race car driver, 200 miles an hour, you're on the gas, you're hauling ass. but you slow down to 150 miles an hour and you're like, to them, they've slowed down a lot.
A lot.
But 150 miles an hour is still fast.
It's still really fast.
And that really, I was like, wow, that put it in perspective to me.
It really does.
We may not be accelerating, at the rate that we have been and we've kind of gotten used to, but it doesn't mean we're not still accelerating.
I agree. That's actually a really great point.
That's what we've been saying this whole time.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes, your value of your home is still going up regardless at the rate of the rate. And as someone who doesn't own a house and isn't a real estate agent, I can say positively that your house will still gain value month over month. And we're seeing it right now.
Oh, big
Even with
time.
the so-called recession and everything else that's going on.
Big time.
We're just blinded. We have our blinders on. We're only focusing on a small segment in time.
And that is why we created this podcast for you guys. To give you guys the clear facts of what headlines are saying and what the real truth is. Because just so you guys know, inventory month over month from year over year is up 20%. The month supply of inventory is up 41%, but the affordability index is down 31%. So, like you said, we've been talking about this topic for a while. I feel like the writing's on the wall. In my opinion, it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. It's actually a perfect storm for both parties. You hate to be in a market when it's a seller's market, and you hate to be in a market when it's just a buyer's market. You feel handcuffed on one side or the other. Now is a great time where both parties can feel they both get what they want, and they can walk away with a victory.
Yeah,
it's very interesting, and then especially with more inventory hitting the market, nothing's better than having more inventory. You get more options to choose from, which means there's more sellers to work with. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping out, even though I'm not. But yeah, it's a great time to be in the market.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Talking about it during the podcast got me fired up.
I know.
I went straight to MLS. I was like, "Is there anything
that's so funny?" I was actually looking right now on the set. I was like, "Actually, I want to see what's available out there."
This might work.
It's so. I like how this transitions into our actual going over headlines, because based off what we just told you, how amazing these numbers are telling us, of why we should go out there and be looking. Let's go over some basic headlines that I've found on Google. I've been on the MLS. I scoured the internet for all the great headlines, and today we're going to kind of go over them and kind of break these down based on the facts that we've already just discussed prior today. So the first one that I got, and actually I have a little audio to show you guys. I don't know if you guys saw it. I kind of sent it to the brokerage yesterday. It was a little tidbit from CNBC. It was the head of Redfin. Had like a 2-minute segment talking about the real estate and nationally, and then it kind of talked about San Diego. It was just very interesting that he said San Diego was down 43% this year. But I heard that, and as I was doing my research for our podcast, this came through, and it says, here's the article. It says, real estate agents say no housing recession in San Diego. So it's very interesting.
Well, of course they say that. This is like last week where we were like, what was it? Realtors are slashing dreams and prices and the hopes of the American, I don't know, something crazy. Like, of course they're going to say that.
Of course they are. And this is what it says. It says the housing market has cooled, but San Diego Association of Realtors say sales are up 9% compared to last year. It goes on to say the real estate days are gone, where once you can offer $1,000 over asking price, multiple offers, 2 days on the market, according to the real estate agent of San Diego. The market is cooling off and with higher interest rates. However, there's a talk of house recession. Real estate agents say we are not in a housing recession, rather than a market of stabilizing, which means homes with fantastic views are staying on the market from 30 to 45 days. Just really quickly, 30 to 45 days is actually normal. It actually says it. Sorry, staying on the market 30 to 45 days was typical pre-pandemic. Panoramic views of San Diego Bay. Brand new. The house is brand new. Where is all this information that I want to talk about right now? This is just stupid stuff about a real estate agent saying that they're not seeing a slowdown. Although the market has cooled off, sales in San Diego are currently up 9% compared to last year. We're seeing buyers from New York, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley all pull out. Powell says, aside from the housing shortage, another challenge is that younger buyers are bypassing starter homes. So this is like a very conflicting article based on what I heard yesterday. I'm even conflicted right now reading it by myself. What do you guys think?
I think I'm confused.
I'm a little confused too, Chris.
I think that data says one thing and realtors say another, and that's where we're finding this big confusion, because no one knows the market like the realtors in no one knows this market like the good realtors.
True.
The well-rounded realtors in this market know the market. And sometimes data and what's actually happening in your microcosm, I don't know, whatever it's called, in your little sphere is different. Because LA County, Claremont's LA County.
It is.
But Claremont itself is doing different than maybe Santa Monica's doing or another town in LA County. So, I mean, I think that's why it's confusing. You're getting this broad overview, and then you have a realtor who's in this neighborhood saying, well, no, things are great. But, you know, I think that's why it's so conflicting.
I agree. In all reality, it wasn't really the best article. I was actually just trying to compare this audio that I'm going to play for you guys and going against this article. But I'm going to move on a little bit really quickly. This is actually from the MLS. So I like to try to get articles that have good, reputable reputations. Not that I'm pulling from like USA Today. So this actually comes from the MLS. It's actually a blog on their website. And the actual headline is, "What's actually happening with home prices today?" And it says, one of the biggest questions people are asking right now is, what's happening with home prices? There are headlines about ongoing price appreciation, but at the same time, some sellers are reducing the price of their homes. That can feel confusing, which we kind of just talked about in the previous article, and makes it more difficult to get a clear picture. Part of the challenge, it says, is it could be hard to understand what experts are saying when the words they use sound familiar. Let's break down the difference among those terms to help clarify what's actually happening today. So you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. 3 words. Appreciation, okay? It's when a home prices increases. Depreciation is when a home price decreases. I feel like this is like the ABCs.
I know. I'm learning how to count again.
And then 3 is deceleration, when a home price continues to appreciate but at a slower, more moderate pace is what I think is happening right now. So I feel like that's what they're trying to talk about. So it says, experts agree nationally that we're seeing a deceleration. That means home prices are appreciating. You guys hear that? Home prices are appreciating, just not at the record pace they have or were last year. So I feel like that should be the headline for most places.
I feel like that's most appropriate.
That's most appropriate.
It's not accelerating at the same pace that we're used to.
Yes, but they're still accelerating.
Not accelerating.
Exactly.
It's just not,
you're not doubling your home in 1 month.
Your G-forces aren't making your cheeks freaking...
That's exactly it. The Formula One. Yeah. You're right.
I feel like if we can give a visual, it was like pandemic. Here's your house. Phew. Now it's like, phew.
Yeah.
It's still going up.
It's still going up.
Okay.
It's just not a Formula One race car.
That's the deceleration for dummies.
I completely agree.
But buyers are anticipating that depreciation, and that's what they're kind of waiting and hoping for.
Well, yeah, there's
motivation is,
completely,
and equating to more days on the market.
It is, and I think this article is really dead on because it talks about people are thinking it's depreciation and not deceleration.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the big change people need to understand. Nothing's depreciating; it's decelerating, but still gaining value, appreciating. Sure. And it says in 2021, from data from CoreLogic tells home prices appreciated by an average of... Actually, hold on. Let me rewind that. It says from 2021 data from CoreLogic tells us home prices appreciated by an average of 15% nationwide. And earlier this year in 2022, that appreciation was up nearly 20%. This year, experts forecast home prices will appreciate at a decelerated pace of about 10 to 11%. Okay, I just want to say one thing really quickly from somebody who actually plays with stocks and options and has always been on that type of the investment side. Do you guys know what an amazing stock portfolio operates or turns over year? So like Mr. Wonderful, or like, let's say, who the fuck am I even talking about right now?
Are we naming Shark Tank people? Because I can name them all right now.
No, I'm thinking of Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. I'm talking about really, really huge hedge funds. So a hedge fund,
guessing, but like 4 or 5%?
10%.
Oh, 10%.
So if you have a portfolio that's giving you a 10% return year over year, you have an amazing portfolio. So when you're listening to the stock market, you're listening to most people, they always go off of 10%. Mm-hmm. Are you at 10% of the year or under 10% of the year? So as I'm looking at this housing market right now from people who do trade in the stock market, it's saying that prices will appreciate at a decelerated pace between 10 and 11%. you're actually getting just as much of an appreciation as you would as a stock market portfolio right now. So on an investment standpoint, when I read something like this, I feel real estate's a great avenue or a great vehicle next to the stock market going into this next year.
Especially with an ocean view.
Especially with an ocean view. If you live by the ocean, that is. That's very interesting. This is a really, really good article. And it would be a good article. It's from the MLS. It's one of their blogs. And it actually shows you a graph, which I'll give to Brian as well. Shows you the appreciation is slowing down, but not depreciating. So it's very, very interesting. What do you guys think about this article? Think it's very right on? Like they nailed it?
Yeah, I like it. I think that should be the narrative across the board.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's a fair...
I think it's like the AP. Like it's like the Associated Press. You're getting it from the source.
Yep.
And then everyone else takes one sentence and it's like, how can we make this shit spin? Like, let's be crazy.
I completely agree.
I think that's like the source, and then everything else is just pulling from that. Because that did not freak me out, and that wouldn't freak out buyers, but media is not always...
No, because
they don't want that.
That's what media wants. They want to freak everybody out.
They want you to click on it. So.
Which is crazy, because you know it's nuts?
On both sides,
We never had to deal with this 10 years ago, because the media didn't have the control over us that they do now. So like a headline back then, nobody cared about. But these days, they take it to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right, sponsored by Moderna. Okay, so moving on. We're going to get another article. This is actually from the California Association of Realtors. It's actually their weekly market update. This was put out yesterday. It had some really good stats. I'm just going to name some highlights for you guys and kind of get your input about what you guys feel on this one is. So some of the things that they highlighted says, despite a drop in gas prices that have provided some near-term relief for Americans, elevated food prices and rent continue to keep cost of living at a painfully high level. The same is true for buyers in the housing market. The combination of elevated home prices, higher mortgage rates, and lower income growth has reduced affordability, which we talked about. The affordability index is down by 35%, and dampened both new and existing home sales. That said, while Americans' incomes rose more slowly in July, those gains were not swallowed up by higher prices for the first time in the past few months. The latest revision on the second quarter gross domestic product also offers some encouraging news last week, as both consumer spending and business investment have held up better than expected, suggesting a slightly stronger economy than previously reported, which means new listings have begun declining year over year since June. New home sales tumbled in July. Consumer sentiment improved in August. And then it says U.S. home growth slowed in July and consumer spending barely grew. So what do you guys think about that?
I think the cost of living is out of control. I don't know how people do it, to be completely honest with you.
Explain.
I mean, just the cost. I mean, you go to the grocery store. I mean, I go to Target, and it's like $100 a bag.
Like a bag or like a sitting? Like you go to Target, you spend $100, or like every bag that you carry out?
Every bag that you carry out is like $100 bill.
Hell yeah.
How many bags are you walking out with? How many bags you guys walking out with?
Take my money. I'm walking out with a full cart.
A full cart?
You know what though? I can't. Here's my thing with Target or anywhere. I love Target.
Give it to
you. Yeah, Target's great.
You guys both like Target?
Everything's expensive.
Target. First of all, I have a Starbucks in there. That's number one. Number two. Okay. I don't go in like I don't go in like thinking I just need one thing. I know Target's gonna tell me what I need. And I don't disobey.
So is Costco.
How does that happen? Yeah. What do you mean they tell you what you need?
They set it up. They plan Target. They're playing a mind game with you. You
like
walk
physically?
In.
Not on the app, but like physically?
No, mentally and physically. When you walk in, you go straight through. You go first thing, dollar section. Dollar section escalates
they're smart on that,
to $5 section, escalates to close.
They wean you into
before you actually get to the grocery and actual toilet paper in the back
back
corner.
Row. Yeah.
You've already
the
spent
stuff you really need. Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Have you guys? So you know it's funny. I'm gonna kind of not go against you, but you know what's funny? I haven't been into Target in a year, and it's not because I don't like Target, because my wife and I love Target. My wife has turned me into an online buyer. I never go into any department stores or any stores anymore, for that matter. I buy everything online, and it gets mailed to my house.
So convenient.
It's the most convenient thing. So I don't have that problem.
I want to keep, jobs out there. I try and fight it. I don't think of it like that,
really? Chris. I feel like a bad person right now.
I I don't know.
Don't think bad of me.
I want to go. No. I'm not saying
you.
that.
I'm looking at the people looking at me right now. Not you. I know you're not judging me, but they're judging me.
Well, I'm just talking about small businesses.
Gotcha.
Trying to go walk into a store. I mean,
well, they don't have online presence.
For sunglasses, do you know how hard it is to go find the sunglasses that I want to wear in a retail store?
How hard?
It's impossible.
What time?
But I search and
where do you go for sunglasses?
I go to other states and I'm like, just because I want to give my dollar to like an open door business.
Wow. That's nice.
When really I could have as many pairs as I want tomorrow morning on my doorstep through Amazon. You know what I mean? But it's like
you can't. I hear you.
It's getting harder and harder, and it's like the convenience level on it. Like I had 5 packages sent to my house today, and it was
nice.
But it was
real
product
nice.
that I wouldn't know where to go buy. But like,
well, I'll tell you what,
it's becoming impossible. Like that task of like trying to support small businesses and walk into retail is like it's a thing of the past.
Well, I don't consider Target small business.
No, absolutely not.
And I feel small businesses don't have an online presence. So, like for example, downtown Claremont, you want to go support them. You're walking into downtown Claremont. You're walking into these places. You can't support them online because they don't even have an online presence. So yeah, I hear you completely because
that effort's becoming impossible.
It is
for somebody that's tried to make an effort to do so.
Well, yeah, because when you're bringing more targets in and you're bringing more of these big box places in, it cuts at their budgets because they have to slash their prices because they can't compete with these big places. Like, by the way, I don't know if we're not going to get into this right now because I know we're about to go on our little bit timeout. But I'm going to tell you, Walmart. If you look at the history of Walmart, they've destroyed almost every small city that they've ever been to, because it just takes out the entire local economy. Yep. We're going to continue on our segment, and so this is where I'm going to start to bring some interesting topics in based off the headlines we've been reading. So I actually have a really very interesting topic based on everything we've been talking about today. This is from Fortune magazine, and the headline for this one is, and this came out August 31st, so this came out yesterday because today's the 1st, and it says, the U.S. housing market downturn will be worse in 2023, forecast Goldman Sachs. And it goes on to say, the U.S. entered into its first housing downturn in the post-Great Financial Crisis era, and the worst still awaits us. On Tuesday, researchers at Goldman Sachs released a paper titled, wait for it, The Housing Downturn, Further to Fall.
Oh, I was ready to go bum, bum, bum.
The investment bank now forecasts that activity in the U.S. housing market will end 2022 down across the board. The firm, Goldman Sachs, projects sharp declines this year in new home sales, which is a 22% drop. Existing home sales, 17% drop. The housing GDP, 8.9% drop. For perspective, Russia's soaring economy is only expected to see its GDP fall 3% this year. So this article's comparing us to Russia.
Can we never, red flag 1. Don't compare us to Russia.
Hold on, Sadie, I'm not even done.
Great.
It says, and don't expect relief in 2023. Goldman Sachs projects further declines next year in new home sales, another 8% drop, existing home sales to drop another 14%, and housing GDP, another 9.2% drop.
So if you're not in the industry and you're reading this stuff, like
I'm fucking out.
What do you think?
You're hearing drop.
But that narrative is it is forcing that.
Oh yeah, I'm scared reading this. You know, it's so funny in this podcast going through these articles. I'm in real estate and I'm having an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I'm not even lying right now. I'm hot and sweaty after reading that.
But I feel like they have a motive. Like they want the market to crash.
Goldman Sachs.
Maybe they want us to be in a recession.
Goldman Sachs, for effing sure.
It creates opportunity for
them. Them. Oh my God. It's a financial institution.
Yeah.
This would benefit them in all avenues, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Their hedge funds just buying up real estate right now. Everyone's running. They're like, hey, by the way, have everyone run into Milwaukee and buy it all up. Everything's corrupted in this world. It's freaking nuts. They actually give me a graph. It says the housing market recession to carry to 2023. It is hilarious. It's just 2 red bars for 2023, but everything else is nice and like purple in the past. Oh man, Sadie, give me some insight. Like when I just read this, what was the emotion that kind of ran through your veins?
Okay, for me, being a former journalist, I just hear like, okay, first of all, if you're going to bring Russia into this, You're just using scare tactics. And you know what? We're going to get to an article later about Bank of America, but we sent it in our group chat, and everyone was like, oh my God, oh my God. But if you actually read it, like the second line says like, oh, by the way, basically saying our headline's not really true. Anyone can have this. It's not just, anyway, you'll hear about it. Stay tuned. But
it's nice to have a publicist here.
It's just scare tactics. And you have to look at your source too. It's not the MLS, clearly. It's Goldman Sachs.
Goldman
Sachs. You were saying, these guys,
it's not the MLS.
I can't say anything about Goldman Sachs, but they are, like you're saying, an investment company. And if
sell
they can
high, buy low.
If they can push out some articles that say, don't buy, now's not the time to buy, so that they can go sneak in and buy, they're sure as shit going to do that. Like, hello.
It's Vegas every day at Goldman.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to really look at where your sources are coming from, and not anything that seems too good or too bad to be true. Probably is.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through a little bit of this article to give you a little bit more of this downturn of 2023, this horrible outlook that we're going to have. Literally.
Hellscape.
I don't even know anyone's still alive right now. We should all be dead.
When are the auction masks?
Yeah, right. Says this housing downturn, of course, is a direct result of the Federal Reserve inflation fight. Not long after the central bank began applying upward pressure this spring on mortgage rates, the housing market slipped into a downward mode. Home shoppers across the country put their home search on pause. That housing market downturn, the Fed hopes will slow down the rest of the economy and, in theory, help to rein in a runaway inflation. Says there's another driving source behind the downturn. Household information, the pandemic, the WFH revolution is set off. I have no idea what that even is.
Work from home.
Oh, work from home. Saw a historic spike in household formation. You can blame.
Oh, here we go.
I'm looking straight at you, Sadie.
Oh
my God.
Are we going to blame Biden?
You can blame Gen Zers for not wanting to work from home alongside with their roommates.
This is so good. And like a 65-year-old white dude, sorry to the 65-year-old white dude, but come on.
Good.
And because they bought so much avocado toast, they couldn't buy a house. They couldn't afford their down payment.
Oh my God, this is so good. This is so good.
So yeah, inflammatory words, rein in the market or whatever they said. What they should say is regulate, because that's what's going on. Yeah. Everything is regulating.
Deceleration. I think we're just going to start using that. Everything's decelerating, but appreciating at the same time. Yeah. Look, here's the bottom line. The bottom line from Goldman Sachs.
Here we go.
Says if Goldman Sachs forecast comes into fruition, it'll mean next year is the bottom of the housing downturn. In 2024, the investment bank expects housing activity to begin to rebound. That you'll all see, according to Goldman Sachs, home price growth to climb 3.5% in 2024 and only 3.8% in 2025. They're literally saying we're in 2007 again, is what I'm hearing.
They act like you're day trading your primary residence. Like, I feel like that's what I'm hearing. Like,
they're definitely disconnected from the housing market. They need to stick with what they know best, and it's not the housing market. Yeah. Holy smokes.
Who buys a property with like that day trader like mentality?
Just stick to your old fashions and your little portfolio thing that Eric was talking about.
Wow.
It's fine.
You're buying a home. You're buying grass for your kid to roll around and playing with your dog. Like, not try to.
I don't usually call people out, but Lance Lambert from Fortune Magazine, please call me. I'd love to have this discussion with you.
Lance.
Really give you some data about where we're really going.
Do better.
We're going to move on from Fortune. Fortune, thank you for that humor today. I really appreciate it. We're going to go on to Yahoo Finance, and it says the housing market, new home listings fall to a record 15% as sellers become increasingly hesitant. So another article headline, a little more negative. It says soaring mortgage rates and economic uncertainty have been slowing down the housing market. It's gotten to the point that would-be buyers are hesitant to list their homes as prices have started to decrease. With few new listings, buyers bargaining power? Oh, sorry. With new listings, buyers' bargaining power has reached its limit, which is affordability index pretty much. And those who still list are increasingly pricing to meet buyers where they are, according to Redfin survey. Oh, Redfin, don't get me started right now.
Oh, no. Not again.
In the 4 weeks ending in 2021 of August, new listings home fell 15%, the biggest annual decline since the start of the pandemic, Redfin noted, adding that the dearth By the way, can you, Miss Publicist over here, can you explain to me what DEARTH means? The dearth of the home owners putting their homes up for sale is partly a reaction to reduced demand and falling prices.
Dearth, like earth with a D in front of it?
No. It's earth with a D in front of it. It's dearth.
I don't know. I know earth. I know dirt. I know girth.
Why do you guys do this? Why do you guys do this to us?
I'm confused. Can you talk in English?
You know what's crazy? I just thought about this right now. All these people writing all these articles should have a real estate license. Like, if you're going to do articles, you're going to do segments on the housing market or recession or the real estate market, hyper local or national, at least have a little bit of a background. Just because you're a publicist or you're a journalist doesn't mean you know about the economy and real estate. This blows my mind away.
The dictionary, dearth.
Oh, give it to me. What's dearth?
Buckle up.
The scarcity or lack of something.
Okay, the first thing I learned in journalism.
These people are too smart to be writing articles.
The first thing I learned was write like you're writing to a bunch of first graders. Like, go as basic as possible. And this is Yahoo Finance. It's not like it's some you're some journal that you pay a monthly subscription to.
I agree.
Come on, man. We get it. You're smart. You write for Yahoo. Dumb it down.
You know, I'm gonna kind of go back on the little bit of article right now because I'm just gonna move on to another article because they blame the Gen Zs. This is another article. It says the best cities for Gen Zs right now, and the reason I brought this up because I kind of glanced through this earlier, and I kind of want to get your idea about these areas that they picked for Gen Zs to live in because these are some ridiculous places. So
are they in America or are they in Russia?
They're all in America.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it says the study digs into the study digs into what is most important for young adults ages 18 to 25. Do you fit that category?
I'm 26, but
you just missed it.
I know. I'm a cusper. It's like, am I millennial? Am I Gen Z? I like TikTok, but I also like pumpkin spice lattes. It's like
You're on the cusp, aren't you?
I am.
It's like being like a Gemini and like a Cancer, kind of like.
I'm like a November Scorpio, so I'm scary, but I'm early November, so like I'm also just scary.
You got a little bit of a Libra in you, right?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I just know that I'm a Scorpio. November 10th.
That's
if anyone
right.
would
I'm
like.
November 9th.
Oh, with my sister.
What?
Wait.
That's my dead grandpa's birthday.
That means
that's why you love me so much.
Yeah. I know people 19th and 11th, so it's you, Sadie, and both my sisters all within 3 days.
Yeah,
really?
Stacey's me.
Crazy. And then my other sister's the day after.
11th.
Stacey's the 10th.
I know, we have the same birthday. It's torture.
There's a reason why you guys are so close.
Rage this November.
Yeah. I'm making sure I'm gone that week.
We're shutting down that. We're going to shut down. Let's go back to
fire sprinklers working here.
Right.
Let's go back to Dallas.
Hey, do we have insurance on this place?
Okay, so where's the Gen Z live?
Yeah, so it says, the article says, jumping into adulthood, and you know how these people like to put these words in there, has been a tough of late for Gen Zers. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, young adults scurried back to their parents' and grandparents' houses. Roughly 80% of them were members of the Gen Z, born late 90s through the early 2000s. A third of that generation is still living there today. Who's living at their parents' and grandparents' house? It says, now inflation and competition for renters have created more obstacles to moving out, which I do agree upon. But there are reasons for optimism, they say. So it says in July, 528,000 new jobs were created across the country, more than doubling the projections dropped on the unemployment of 3.5. So let's get into some places. So this is, hey, Gen Zers, where are we moving? So here are the top areas that Gen Zers feel like they want to get into. So they actually gave a list of 20 cities, and I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but I'm going to scroll through these 20 because they're that ridiculous. So if you're a Gen Zer and you're hip and you're trendy, you're definitely moving to the number one spot, and they chose Atlanta.
Go ahead. That's not, flood it. Flood that place. Leave California.
Come on. You telling me everyone from 18 to 25 doesn't just want to live in Atlanta? You ain't flocking to Atlanta these days?
You know what, though?
Get into the rap game?
That show, Atlanta, is really good.
There's a show called Atlanta?
Yes.
What's the show called? Atlanta?
It's called Atlanta.
And what's Atlanta about?
It's Donald Glover. I always get him. Wait, is it Danny? No, Danny's the older one. Okay, it's Donald.
I love the Glovers.
They're not. I think they're not related. They just happen to have the same last name. But I love both of them equally.
Okay.
Donald Glover, also known as Childish Gambino, It's like his story, kind of. I only watched the first. It's a really weird show. Like,
interesting.
I feel like only a Gen Z person would like it. Like, there's some weird, freaky shit in there. But it does romanticize Atlanta.
It does.
A little bit.
Okay. I'll look into Atlanta.
And also, like, a lot of rappers.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
If I went to Atlanta, I would go straight to a strip club because that's, like, iconic. I don't know if I want to live at the strip club. You
get shot at the strip club.
You think so?
All the articles that I read are people getting shot at strip clubs in Atlanta.
I don't know. I mean...
I thought we were going to get shot in Dallas.
Isn't Cardi B?
Oh my God.
Isn't Cardi B from Atlanta?
I don't know.
She is. She's a stripper from Atlanta. I know she
she
is.
used to be a stripper.
You knew she was, right?
A stripper, yes.
Yeah, from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Hot Atlanta.
That makes sense. Okay, so Atlanta.
So Atlanta's number one because everybody from 1825 is just flocking there.
Yeah.
By the way, this is based off the recent study found. It's based on the affordability, recreational opportunities, unemployment rate, green community options. These are why they pick these cities. Number 2, Minneapolis. Have you guys ever been to Minneapolis?
Where's Minneapolis?
You never been to the Mall of America?
Is that where Tom Ferry is next year?
No. By the way, Tom's in Dallas next year. I think I saw it. Yeah, Dallas next year.
I'm
Minneapolis.
Book the Omni now.
Mall of America. You guys should probably do that now.
I know.
Does he have dates set already?
Yes, it is. I just got it yesterday, so I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
But you never been to Minneapolis?
No.
Wait, Minneapolis is a state, right?
No, wait, no. It's a city.
No, it's not.
It's in Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that right?
Minnesota.
Yeah,
my
that's
mom
where the
should be in here
Vikings
doing
are
that.
from.
Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota number 2. Boston 3.
Boston. Massholes.
Oh, my buddy Matt's going to love this. Tucson, Arizona, not Scottsdale for number 4. Matt, shout out to you, brother.
Shout out, Matt.
Oh, my God. There's an inside joke we have. Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina. My little sister knows about Raleigh, North Carolina. Lauren, can you write some comments down about North Carolina?
Yeah.
She went to college there.
North Carolina would be a bad place.
Not bad at all. Carrie and I were actually talking about Airbnbs last night about
That's
North
where
Carolina.
they shot One Tree Hill.
Okay, I have no idea, Sadie. We're moving on from that one.
You don't know about One Tree Hill?
What?
Okay.
Chris looking at you with the deer in headlights.
I was thinking NASCAR.
I have all 6 seasons on.
It sounds like Dawson's Creek.
It is, but like better. Oh, so good.
We're moving on.
Okay, all right.
We have Seattle 7, Austin, Texas 8, El Paso 9, New York 10, Houston, Texas 11, Omaha, Nebraska 12, Philadelphia 13, 14 Milwaukee, 15 Washington, 16 Nashville, Tennessee, 17 Baltimore, 18 San Antonio. Texas, you're in 3 places in Texas that are all about this. Chicago, number 19. Don't go to Chicago unless you're going downtown. And Virginia Beach.
So nothing in California.
Of course, who the hell wants to live here?
I do. So everyone just get the hell out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We love California, but we're just being honest about our own state right now. We're in a little bit of a turmoil.
Was Wickenburg not on the list? My parents' go-to destination.
Oh my God, Wickenburg! I'll
Shout
never
out
forget
Wickenburg.
Wickenburg.
That's a baby boomer.
2,700 of them.
I'm gonna make the baby boomer top 20, and it's just my parents where they're looking.
Putting Wickenburg on the map.
Yeah, we are.
First reality TV show in Wickenburg.
100%.
So, Sadie, this is a really quick question to you. What do you think about this article? Does this has any validity to it being in the Gen's ears? Like, do you guys think about places to live based on the affordability of what's around you and where you're working and how things are, supplying or supporting your lifestyle?
I think the work from home aspect changed a lot of things.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people, like my sister works for TikTok.
Okay.
And if she was still working from home, she probably would have moved to like Nashville or like maybe not Omaha, but like these places, especially like when we were in Texas, everyone was like, "Oh, you love Austin," because that's apparently Austin is a more liberal place in a red state.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know anything about it, but like
it's the most liberal part of Texas.
It's where Joe Rogan is, and he loves it, and he's like, it sucks here. Don't come here.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want anyone else coming.
It's
so amazing. They want to preserve it.
It's too late. This shit's flocked. Yeah.
Have
you guys been to Austin?
No.
Oh, it's out of control. It's like going to L.A.
Really?
Oh, it's crazy, bro. Everyone's a hipster.
Really?
Everyone's a hipster, and they all go on the river, and they all do hipster stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these places, they sound like they just sound like the way San Francisco sounds, like up and coming.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
exactly what it is.
A lot of tech companies.
Yep.
A lot of companies are going to these more rural places and then urbanizing them.
Yep.
And we like the idea of, I was here first. Like, I got in on the ground floor. I moved to Nashville before it was cool.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? It's so hipster of me, but it's really not. So that all makes a lot of sense.
But I also wonder, with that being said, what corporate development or
I'm sure
is going on that influence this list.
Yeah.
Like, is Amazon developing these areas and they're trying to encourage?
Well, it's so funny you say Austin. Just so you guys know, you have SpaceX that's developing there right now. From they're moving up north. You got Tom Ferry.
Do you think that influences this list? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I don't know. Only because it actually stated that they pulled the data from. Let me just double check right now.
Which might be motivation for corporations to go there for
affordability, recreational opportunities, unemployment rate, and green community options. So I don't know. Green community options are. I don't really know what they pulled the data from. I'll be honest with you. I feel like somebody just said, "Hey, go do an article on Gen Zers and where they want to live," and some guy just put a bunch of shit together.
Yeah, no one's double checking that.
Kind of like this podcast. You just put a bunch of shit together, and there you guys go.
It's not hurting anybody.
It's not hurting anybody until the right people see it, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm excited to actually go over this article because this article I pulled from BAM Media. So shout out to Broke Agent Media. This is a blog post from you guys. I thought this is kind of cool because we are a huge proponent of Zillow. We are a partner of them. So as much as I love and hate them, I love them and respect them. But this came from them, guys. You guys ready for this one? Because this affects all of us.
Here we go. I'm ready.
From BAM. Here's the headline. Zestimates are dropping for the first time in a decade.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Straighter than the camera.
Sorry.
Oh my God. There we go.
I needed to get that out, you know?
Okay, I know. Wow. I felt the tension in the room and I was trying to figure out what it was, and that was...
You know what that felt like?
That was it.
That felt like the Pope visited California. That felt like I just climbed Mount Everest.
Okay, that
something
makes
that's
more sense
so monumental, you know, something so big, you know. Who the fuck cares about Zillow and their estimates? God damn it, this is a stupid fucking article.
No one's ever cared about that. No one who actually knows real estate or cares about real estate has really ever been like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's just price your home based off his estimate, because that makes sense.
It's true, but I'm going to tell you this, Sadie.
No shade on Zillow.
I'm shocked, but I'm going to tell you this though. The sad thing about this is, and I'm going to ask Chris this question. Have you been into a listing appointment, Chris, where the seller has not brought up this estimate listing?
No, absolutely not. But I bring all of the online, you know,
to show them that estimate's BS.
Well, and I also illustrate how how you can manipulate it.
Oh yeah, you can manipulate that estimate so easily. I can
list a home like 500,000 over, you know, the estimate, and it'll whoop.
Yep.
It'll adjust a cutoff.
It'll adjust it, of course. Yeah. And you can actually add things in your property, add pictures where it adjusts the home as well. And you know the crazy thing about this estimate is that no one actually really understands is that when you actually sell your home, you have to get an appraisal most times. That means someone physically comes to the house and does an appraisal and gives a value of the home based on other comps. Does Zillow do anything like this to actually give what they appraisal, estimate, same freaking thing? Do they do anything like that? No. They're actually taking a national average and they're just taking data and numbers and they're creating an estimate based off an algorithm that they've created amongst themselves. Yep. And when it actually comes to looking at these homes and walking through them and touching and feeling and seeing, the estimate can never be accurate. It's just an impossibility if you ask me. What do you guys think?
Well, you notice when a lot of these companies started, you know, becoming buyers of these homes and offering, you know, sellers cash offers on their homes. What did that do to the value? Their opinion of the value on their page.
You're right. I mean, that's a really good point.
Definitely see they're not swinging for the fences on what they think your home's worth now that the money's coming out of their pocket.
So true. Yeah. Which caused a lot of lawsuits, in my opinion. Yeah. Sadie, what do you talk? What does this mean to you?
Okay, for me, what I've seen, what I've learned, because I've had to fill the role of Char's assistant. Okay. And she runs CMAs and does comps, and so does Char, and they go back and forth, and there's a lot of talk, and it's never, ever, 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 ever the Zestimate. And you see it go up and down, and then I see like the Zestimate for my parents' house, and I'm like, there's no photos, nothing, of course. And I'm like, no fucking way my parents are going to get that much money for their, like, but then we have other homes where I'm like, the Zestimate's way lower than, and I don't know. Does Zestimate even take into account like the schools and what the schools are rated and the neighborhood and if there's a freeway, if there's this, there's that?
It's proprietary. Just a general average, I think.
It's proprietary to them. We don't know exactly what data they pull.
So all I say is I always trust a human before I'm going to trust some sort of algorithm, especially if I was selling a home. And based off of what you guys are saying right now about the way Zillow works and how Zestimates can change, that's not what I would trust first.
Well, you guys ready for the psych out on this whole article?
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. We're gonna bust into this. You guys are gonna die. So it says, headline was, Zestimates are dropping for the first time in a decade. Now let's get into the main part of this. It says, I'm actually laughing at this. I'm dying right now because actually I read it for the first time right now. I'm guilty. Zillow reports that U.S. home values dipped by 0.1% from June to July.
Anything to justify that down arrow.
Marking the first drop in the raw Zillow home value index since 2012. This was the year home values dropped from the housing bubble. 0.1% is what it dropped.
Sell.
What is that, like $100 on a, like, what is the math? $1 million home's not like $999,090 or what? I don't even know.
Sadie, 100%. I bet you it's so little that they actually can't even put the decimal point into this estimate.
Oh, here we go. Chris I think he's going to do the math right now.
Is he? As he does the math, it says home values went down 30 of the 50 largest U.S. metro states, but they're still up 16% in July 2021. And with mortgage rates hovering 5%, prices are still high enough to keep many potential buyers on the sidelines. Zillow admits as much, and it doesn't come as a surprise for anyone staying on top of the market slowdown updates.
So 0.1% of 500,000
Give it to me.
$500.
Woo! Sellers. Wow. Don't be relinquishing those dreams of record profits.
Yeah, now's your time.
Oh, man.
We're in a downturn. We're in a downturn, according to what, Fortune or Forbes or something, whatever.
I want to show you this meme right now. It shows them, by the way, Broke Agent Media, thank you for putting this article together because they put a meme right under this whole article. And it's a picture of Ben Affleck and his wife J-Lo together, and he's whispering.
They're back together?
Okay, first rewind to speak J-Lo and her husband. What's his name?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
So Ben Affleck's whispering in her ear in this meme, and it says, "Thank you for the comps, but the Zestimate says we can get more." And then it shows J-Lo's face, like all just straight, like.
He's got a shit-eating grin.
I can't wait for this to happen. And then another one, it says, society if Zestimates didn't exist and everyone listened to their agent. And it was a meme of like a futuristic future of like just like everything like amongst itself. I can't wait to show these memes to you guys. You guys are going to freaking die. I'm taking a breath right now. How do you get, by the way, Broke Agent Media, good stuff. So now that we're getting towards this bottom half of our segment, I kind of want to get into the more fun part of this, the shit part. So I got some really fun topics for you guys today, and not just the consumer, you guys listen in, but for us. I'm actually really looking forward to talking about this. But yes, let's get right into it. By the way, if you guys see my shoes here, I love shoes. I collect shoes, and anything shoe related, anything news I like to bring up. So I'm going to bring this up before we get into like the BofA article today or the Biden student loan program. And we're going to hop right into Kanye West versus Adidas. Do you guys know the drama going on between Kanye and Adidas?
I know Kanye always has drama, but specifically,
I like that.
I'm here for Kanye.
Hey, Yee, what's up?
I'm a fan. But I don't know the drama. No.
I got a good share of Yeezys, so I can't. I like my Yeezys and my slides. So just really funny. You guys are gonna die right now. So Kanye got into a deal with Adidas, originally with Nike, but kind of canceled that and got into Adidas. I would say maybe 8 years ago, and they created a bunch of new shoes. They've created from scratch. Like they designed shoes from scratch. So they designed a bunch of shoes like this, and then they did some slides like sandals. I'm not going to pull my sandals out, but a pair like sandals. Well, they've been doing this for a while. Well, as you know, Kanye gets nuts. Everyone knows Kanye gets a little out of control. Well, the last 5 years, I think Kanye with Kim and the divorce and all the things that are happening in this world, the CEOs of Adidas said, you know what, let's kind of veer off a little bit from Kanye. He's getting a little too much for us. So let's transform the Yeezy slides that he made, and let's make our own version of the Adidas version. And then some of the apparel that he made, let's just make an Adidas version of his Yeezy version, and we'll sell it as well. Well, that didn't fly very well with Kanye, and it was really interesting because these products have been released to the public. People can buy these products, and they've been active for at least 3 to 6 months. Well, it wasn't until this week that this caught up to Kanye, and he lost it. So he started talking shit about the CEO of Adidas, and the CEO of Adidas, his name is, oh my gosh, I was just talking to you guys about it earlier. Let me just pull this up really quickly. Yee. I love how he changed his name to Yee. All these people that change their names are awesome.
Snoop Lion.
Yee, Kanye. It is the Casper guy. See, you're actually. Oh my gosh, he's smart. He deleted that already. He deleted all that stuff so quickly.
He didn't delete it. His Sadie deleted it. That's what he did. She went in and she was like, Kanye.
Wow. So yeah, his name's something Casper. Obviously, Kanye is getting some flack over this article today already. He wouldn't have deleted these articles, but he obviously had some type of stuff going on where he got the CEO fired from Adidas. Well, actually, the CEO actually announced he stepped down. And
you got him fired.
You got him fired.
Yeah,
and then today he had a New York Times article, and it showed a picture of him, and it showed this guy dead at 60. And he did the same thing with the guy who was dating Kim Kardashian recently.
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson. He did the same thing with
him.
Pete about 3 months ago. Oh, there it is. Casper Rorston, also dead at 60, the New York Times. This has been a wildfire in the shoe industry and the shoe community that someone of his nature has so much power. So I'm just interested. I mean, does you guys even care about this kind of stuff? Like, when you guys see this news and stuff like that, it's just more entertainment for you? Like, what do you guys think?
I feel like I don't like Yeezys in the first place.
Oh, you don't?
I think everything is just very, like,
futuristic,
intergalactic.
I knew it.
Like, yeah, it's not my vibe. Some people can, like, really rock it.
I rock it.
Not for me. However, I am a Kanye fan of the music and the drama, and I'm here for it. So, I mean, he does act wild.
Put your hands up in the air.
I'm so in a bubble. I'm so detached from.
Do you like Kanye, or do you have no feeling about him?
I don't really have a feeling. I don't know anything about.
That's what he wants.
The shoe that you talked about. Like, I'm just so like.
It's a good life.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Well, either way, Sadie, I'll tell you. So, like, the shoe, right?
What is the shoe? Right here, what is Kanye's shoe
This is a
called?
Dunk.
Easy.
These are like made in the 80s and 90s. I have to give him respect though that he's going out and creating new shoes out of thin air.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's
that's
easy.
actually not easy to do. And then actually to make it to get the sales that he does for these shoes where they sell out before they even hit the markets. Like,
I've never even seen these shoes before.
Oh, what are you looking at? Are you looking?
He's on the website.
Look at the Yeezy Boost 350s. Like, that's like his main shoe that he puts out there. You know, I'm gonna get you a pair of Yeezys, Chris. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna want to know how you like these. I'm gonna get you a pair. What's your foot size? Do you have? There's some slides behind you. Those are some pair of 13s. What do you wear?
Size 10.
Maybe they'll fit you. Actually, here, pull out that pair of slides behind you right there, Chris, behind you, and take a look at that. That's a pair of his sandals right there. By the way. Not that this obviously is filled with shoes, because it's not. It just happens to be today.
Yeah.
But yeah, take a look at this pair of slides right now. Don't rip the box. The box isn't just as much as the shoes are, so be very gentle. By the way, if you're watching this and you saw that, you know what I'm talking about. If you know shoes, you can just pull it out. It slides out. So this is an easy slide. They actually made a sandal very similar to this, and this is what caused all the controversy. They made a slide. They made a shoe similar to this. So this is a Kanye West Yeezy slide made out of foam. And all it is,
for a real man.
All it is a sandal. It's a sandal, but it's a futuristic, weird sandal.
I mean, it's like
light.
Tempur-Pedic.
It's cushy. You feel like you'd be walking on a cloud, right? Walking on a dream.
I'd wear these around the house.
See, most people use them in house shoes.
Yeah.
They're house slippers. Let me ask you a quick question.
In the garden.
Maybe we can do this on we can actually cut this and put this on my shoe one. But let me ask you a quick question. Would you wear those with or without socks?
I would definitely wear them without socks.
Without socks?
I would also wear them without underwear.
I don't know if I want to envision that because I had a picture. But you'd wear those without socks, just
without
so you know.
socks.
No one wears it without socks.
That's
like the thing right now. Slides with or without socks. You wear them without socks, you're going to get hate.
It's like wearing Birkenstocks without socks. What's the point?
You don't wear Birkenstocks without socks? I don't know.
I don't wear Birkenstocks anywhere, but that's like the thing. Everyone rocks the Birks with the socks, and I'm like, you guys are like nerds.
That makes me want a pair just so I can wear them without socks.
You know what? I'll make this happen.
That's really Kanye of you. Like, just go against the grain.
Yeah, it's very ye of you, Chris.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this. We're onto something.
I can like do a 72-inch box jump on them barefoot.
Ooh, this is like after another 75 hard.
I'll do it right now.
Let's see it.
No, let's leave. Let's not damage your foot anymore. That's damaged.
Yeah, I forgot about my foot.
Oh, yeah, we got damaged goods over here. We have to keep them. We have to keep them good.
Right, everybody
clean.
stay tuned for the sockless.
The sockless Yeezy slide
box jump.
The reveal.
Can't wait for this one. This is gonna get a lot of views.
How high do these adjustable desks go?
As high as you need them to go.
How good is your medical insurance?
You could jump on top, but if you break it, you buy it.
I'm fine with it.
He's like, I'm good with that. I don't care. Done. By the way, we'll post that. We'll air it when it happens.
That'll be great content.
Okay. All right.
Busting my ass with no socks on my Yeezy
That's
slides.
it. Just don't break your ankle. It's all like, actually, these would be good for you. Now that I think about it, with what he deals with, this cushioning in the shoe would be good for you, Chris.
Good support.
Okay, so let's move on to some other shit topics that I want to talk to you guys about. All right, here we go, Sadie. I wanted your information. This is the big drum roll. Okay. I actually put it in the group today, so I'm going to read the headline. So the headline today this actually comes from, why is this opening in stocks? It came from like Apple
I think
stocks.
it was like an Apple article, like Apple News.
Yeah,
I think.
So the headline is from Apple News. It says, Bank of America announces 0 down payment mortgage for Black and Latino homebuyers. And this is from NBC News, actually. So very interesting, Bank of America over there, the execs. So that was the article. That was the headline. Posted it, put it to our team. And so let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about this?
I guess my question is it actually going to allow buyers to achieve homeownership? Like, a lot of these products don't, it's a non-existent box, like based on income qualifications and loan limits.
Okay.
Like, there's no inventory that meets that criteria. So it's just a pipe dream.
Well, this is what it says here, and I'm going to get your input on this, Sadie. It says, Bank of America is launching a new 0 down payment program, 0 closing, 0 cost of mortgage products to help members, predominantly minority communities, buy their first homes. The program, called the Community Affordability Loan Solution, I don't know why they do such long terms for these, will be available in certain cities, including Black and Hispanic Latino neighborhoods. Eligibility is based on income and home location. No minimum credit score or mortgage insurance is required. Says to help narrow a home ownership gap among Black and Hispanic Latino communities, Bank of America is launching a new 0 down payment, 0 closing cost mortgage product to help people in minority communities buy their first home. The program, which we just talked about. The loans are subject to rigorous underwriting and are based on credit guidelines, including a one-time bill payment, including rent, utilities, phone and auto insurance payments. Eligibility is based on income and home location. No minimum credit score or mortgage insurance is required. Applicants do not have to be Black or Latino to qualify for the loans, this makes no sense to me.
That's the main point that I was going to bring up.
Before applying, applicants must complete a home buyer certification course provided by the Housing Counseling Partners approved of Bank of America and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm going to repeat that one more time because that was a goddamn tongue twister. Before applying, applicants must complete a home buyer certification course provided by the Housing Counseling Partners approved by Bank of America and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Oh, shit. Our Community Affordability Loan Solution will help make the dream, like we just talked about, Chris, of sustained home ownership attainable for more Black and Hispanic families, and it's part of our broader commitment to the communities that we serve, says AJ Barkley, head of Neighborhood and Community Lending of Bank of America.
I mean, I think it's great. I think it's a lot about what we talked about in a previous episode about becoming a partner with the bank and getting a grant system potentially for the bank or finding a way to bridge the gap for homeownership.
Okay.
I think it could be an amazing solution, but I'd like to see more details on what that product looks like, mathematically.
Okay.
Is it really going to apply to the marketplace? Is it really going to put homeownership into You know,
does this hurt values? What does this do? What does this do to the market? What does this do to the economy? Like the way I look at it, when things are too good to be true or something like this does happen, it's great for one side, but it obviously affects the other side of the pendulum. It just doesn't say where. So I'm interested.
I think that, first of all, framing it as like people of color are going to have this advantage is automatically going to spark two feelings, good ones and bad ones.
I'd be pissed.
And it's already...
I'd be pissed.
And we already know that you can't... There's Fair Housing Acts. There's all these... so many things put in place to where you can't discriminate against someone's gender, sexuality, handicap,
religion,
ability, skin color specifically. So they're labeling it that way. And then in the third line, they're saying, well, you don't actually have to be a person of color to qualify. They're picking communities or neighborhoods that are
predominantly or historically either
the demographics are higher with people
African American and Latino.
Yeah,
they're latching on to an existing narrative to gain traction.
Totally, and they're trying to bridge that gap, which I think is awesome. But what if this turns sour? Then what does that mean? So now we're gonna turn the headlines like, I don't know. I just think of it that way. But I mean, so far it's really interesting.
I think the bank's the only one taking the risk.
Well,
I mean, they're willing to.
Agreed. They're the one taking the risk. I agree.
I think it's bad to. I still think it's great to label it like that.
You know,
no, I don't agree with the labeling at all. But whatever spikes interest, whatever I guess gets the word out.
Yeah,
I think that from a marketing perspective, I think they will have a ton of success with it. I mean, we're talking about it. Obviously, they've successfully.
Of course,
got
the headline worked.
The headline worked.
Yep. But I'm sure they'll come out with more actual guidelines. Like it. I couldn't find anything that gave secure, like, here's how it works.
Well, this is my problem, okay? This is where I find it. I feel I'm a little cut on both sides of this. Two things, okay? Because I have friends who are Hispanic, and I have friends who are African American. I have friends who are Asian American. I have friends who are Chinese American. Like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
The fact is, when you're called out, my friends that I've already spoken with, they weren't appalled, but they were, like, disappointed. Because it makes it feel like, oh, since you're black, you're poor. Or since you're Hispanic, you're poor. That's not it at all. So if I was an African American or Hispanic, like my buddy Alex or anyone like that, like I'd be a little pissed off a little bit reading something like that. You know what I mean? Because that you're generalizing me, and that's not where I fit in this category. You're saying we're all like this, and so
we all need help.
We all need help. So
zero down.
When it comes to something like that, I think these programs are great. I think the programs, if done correctly and done in the not the hindsight, but in the heart of all hearts, to really help people out, and there's not some bottom line that's going to affect someone else at the end of the deal that they're going to benefit. They're get the Bank of America only did this to get more loans. You know what I mean?
Or a purchase cap of $500,000 in LA County when you can't even find a home for $500,000.
100% things that will never make sense because they'll never work out, and they only want to do it for the headline article for publicity. So if it's done in good taste and good nature, I think this could be really good because it's obviously they're trying to get into the areas in the neighborhoods that are already struggling. But another thing that
what they're all going to need also?
What?
A realtor.
You're right. They're going to need a realtor, and they're going to need some good realtors. Yeah. I know a few.
Yeah.
I know a few.
I might know one or two.
You know what? So I'm gonna go through this really, just kind of give me some ideas. So it says the problem does exist. So it says Wall Street banks' efforts come as research has shown how difficult it is for minority individuals and families to become homeowners. The recent report from LendingTree found the mortgage denial rate from black borrowers is twice that of overall population. The problem does exist, Jacob Channel, senior economist at LendingTree, recently told CNBC. We have the data that backs that up. But there is a solution, and black homebuyers shouldn't lose faith that they'll never be able to buy or be home owners. In research from earlier this year, the National Association of Realtors found that home ownership rate for black Americans is almost 30% lower than of white Americans. As the U.S. home ownership rate climbed to 65% in 2020 and the highest annual rise on record, the home ownership rate was 43% for black Americans, 51% of Hispanic Americans, and 61% for Asian Americans, according to the research. Moreover, black and Hispanic mortgage applicants were more likely to be rejected for loans, each with 7% compared to white or Asian applicants of 4% and 3% respectively, the National Association of Realtors found. Wow, Bank of America separately has made a $15 billion community. Oh, so it's a $15 billion commitment, Chris, just so you know. To date, the program has already helped 36,000 individual families become homeowners. 2/3 of the program loans and grants made through the program have helped multicultural clients become homeowners. So this is, I mean, the numbers are good. So this has helped a lot of people. Bank of America has made a separate $15 billion commitment to provide mortgages to low to moderate income home buyers throughout the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America through 2027. And then it ends with saying Bank of America also has announced the launch of a new small business down payment program aimed at helping minority and women business owners to obtain credit and purchase commercial real estate through grants. Actually, I heard about that one. The program is launching in Atlanta, Chicago, Charlotte, Dallas, and Los Angeles. Actually, I heard that as well. So minorities and women. So, they might as well have thrown women in this one for B of A. Why not?
I'm down for it.
You're already labeling everybody.
You're labeling everybody else.
Well,
Throw some women in there.
Bank of America was in it was like a $355 million. I read some more backstory lawsuit because they were found to be discriminating against people of color a while back, and they lost the lawsuit.
So this is a PR.
Well, not just that.
That's what it feels like too. But it also feels like modern redlining. Like, okay, so you can buy, but you can only buy in this area. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
You're not completely off.
But I want people to be helped too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so skeptical of banks and big Goldman Sachs, everyone.
Well, I just want to see it like actually perform.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question, Chris, based on this, because it's so funny that no other banks are offering this as a Bank of America push. Let me ask you a question, Chris, because I'm going to answer it as my own after I ask you. In my history of being in real estate and working with buyers and sellers on both sides of the table, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have always told both sides never to go to Bank of America for a loan.
Or many large banks.
Chase and Wells Fargo, not terrible.
Really?
Bank of America, terrible. So I can see if you looked at their data, which they probably don't show you on open books, I bet you when it comes to their housing portfolio, that when it comes to mortgages compared to like a Chase or a Citibank or a Wells Fargo, they're drastically behind, which makes them overcompensate by doing stuff like they're playing major catch up because they know that they're behind the 8 ball. They want to be a player. Yeah. So when I read all this, knowing what it's so funny, you'd have to be in the trenches in real estate to know that kind of fact, though. You know, that we tell people not to go to bank. By the way, if you're watching this and you're an executive Bank of America, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So very interesting article, the Bank of America article. I think
I'd like to hear more about it for sure. Like
me too.
Debt to income ratios and
we'll see how it rolls
loan
out.
Limits.
Yeah. Anything to help people buy more property, it's good. I just wish they could do it in a more tasteful manner. You know what I mean? Like, it could do it such better ways.
Just an income criteria would have been.
I agree. No. So moving on, the next big controversial topic that I want to talk about on this shit show, we might end with this today. It's Biden's new loan student program. Do you guys know anything about this?
I know a lot about it.
Oh my gosh, we have a student in here.
Yes, a student of life, but
I'm
also
just putting
journalism.
this out here right now. I'm not going to pull up the White House fact sheet, not the government thing. I'm going to actually pull another article kind of talking about it. The new details says big new details on Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. So Sadie, before I get into it, talk to me.
Okay.
What you give me an opinion? What are you going to start with?
I'm going to give you a few bullet points.
All right, bullet point me up.
Bullet points. You can get $10,000 of your federal student loans, so FSA loans, which a lot of us have, eliminated that you haven't paid for. Or if you paid for them during pandemic, there's ways to get that money back too. But they're still frozen. They've been frozen for like over 2 years now. And so they're going to unfreeze in December. There's that.
Okay.
If you have a Pell Grant and there's certain criteria where you can actually get, I believe it's either 20 or 25,000. I think it's 20,000 of your loans taken away.
Okay.
You have to actually, it's not like you just wake up one day and the loans are gone. I thought that because I watched TikTok and everyone was like making jokes about it. And I was like, oh my God, my loans are going to be gone. They're not. You have to actually go in and apply and fill out a form. You have to do some footwork.
Just like PPP.
Sure, you got to earn it.
It's the same thing.
It's not that crazy, but you still have to do something. And those are going to be available, I believe, in October.
Okay.
So you can go onto the education website, be put on a list, so you get dinged every time that there's an application or something. So that's all the boring stuff. That's it. It's pretty simple.
Is there a booster requirement?
What?
Is there a booster requirement?
No, there's not a booster requirement. But
so that's the boring stuff. It was so boring. I was looking at my shoe.
I know. But loans are getting canceled for people. And back to the controversy. People are upset, like my parents who paid off their loans. They're like, well, I'd like that 10 grand. And I'm like, I'm sure you would. I don't have an answer for those people.
Okay.
To be completely open and honest, if I get that eliminated, I don't even have that much left in my loans. So that would just get rid of the loans that I had from 2 years ago.
Let me ask you a question really quickly.
Yeah.
Do you even care where the money comes from?
Do I?
Because I'm hearing it's great for you.
Yeah.
But do you care who it affects? For you to get that $10,000 wiped off what you decided that you wanted to do, you decided to to go into debt, to go and to do that. Do you care that it's affecting someone else on the other end of that spectrum right now?
If we're gonna get serious about this,
this is what we're talking about.
Whoever it's affecting,
okay.
Think about if you compare the amount of money that gets put into that's the chunk. I don't know the billions that are getting put into it.
Okay.
But if you put that up next to things we spend money on, like our prison system, which wrongfully imprisons people, if you put that next to our military system, which we're buying and selling, just buying all these planes and shit that we never use, and then they're going to storage or who knows. There's so many things that our money's going to. At least it's going to benefit some young people who eventually want to buy a house, and now they're going to have that extra $10,000 to put toward their future or their family.
Such a surplus of money being mismanaged. It's
where it comes from, I don't think it's taking food out of your mouth or anyone's mouth.
So I'm going to say you are for this. You approve this. This is approved by Sadie.
I approve it.
You approve the message.
I approve this message. But also, I'm biased, and I understand that I am because I have loans that'll get canceled, and that's fucking awesome. But if I'm going to have to hear this for the rest of my life, like, oh, you didn't work I worked really hard. I was a bartender. I had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I had an internship, and I was a full-time student.
Yeah.
I didn't get free college. I didn't get any money from the government because my parents made too much money, but I paid for everything on my own. So it's a mixed bag, you know? So yeah, I'm glad that I worked my way through college and all these things happened for a reason, but I would love to get those eliminated. But if I'm going to hear this for the rest of my life that I didn't work hard and I got my whole college just paid off, then I would rather just not get the money.
For 10 grand. Well, I don't know what school costs.
It costs way more than that.
Way more than that.
10 grand would not be a sliver of what the average student accumulates throughout their
100%.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
I don't know what the benefit is really like.
I went to state school and it costs about like 15 grand a year just for the schooling, not food, not.
What about you, Chris? What is your opinion on this student loan forgiveness program? Before I really start tearing into it,
I just think it's kind of a joke. There's a lot of blue collar, hardworking Americans that have gone out and purchased equipment or vehicles or things. That was their path.
Maybe couldn't afford college.
That's a good point.
Maybe didn't get, the opportunity or their encouragement to go to college. So this was their course of action. And
where's their money?
Or went to real estate school, because
a lot of people.
College wasn't for them.
A lot of people.
And I don't know. I just think, I think it's kind of.
Well, I think beside the whole thing, I think it's fishy timing. We're in a political country, and I think politics have a lot to play with this. Yeah. I think he's our president. I'm not going to say whether I like him or not. He's had a uphill challenge for himself, and I think it's the lowest ranking.
It's desperation.
It's desperation. This is my opinion on it. Sadie, I'll be honest with you. If I was a student, I thought about this deeply. Actually, I was like, what? If I was in my 20s and this happened, because by the way, just so you guys know, I voted for Obama. I would be the first person to say that. I voted for Obama. I was in my 20s. They always told me. My dad always said it, and I think it's so true.
He said, "Smooth operator."
If you're not, he is. He says, if you're not young and you're not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're not a Republican, if you're not older and you're not a Republican, you have no brains. And it kind of makes sense because when you're younger, you have emotions and you want to help people, and it's all about like the world and like change, and then you get older and you get a little more jaded because you're like, wait, the world doesn't care about me anymore. So I feel when it comes to this student loan program, if I was in my 20s and I was in Sadie's position, I'd be like, hell yeah, I saved $10,000
for sure, 100%.
But me sitting where I am at now as a 40-year-old owning a business, trying to understand where this money is coming from, who it affects, and why they're doing it, it's just terrible.
It's more the why they're doing it that gets me.
It's terrible. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's for bad reasons. Yeah. It's not even enough to take care of their full loans. It's just trying to get votes. It's not even enough money. And it's taking from people, in all reality, from people that really can't afford it. They think they can, but they haven't even disclosed exactly where this money's coming from, and I guarantee it's coming from us. Yeah. We're the ones that are going to be doing it. But what's crazy is I didn't go to college. You know what I mean? So like someone that didn't go to college, why am I paying for someone else's college? Yeah. That makes zero sense to me.
Well, you're already paying. You've been paying for someone's college this whole time.
No, I know that, and that makes zero sense to me. I've never liked it already. So why are you thinking you can just go and just wipe everybody's shit for clean? You know what I mean? Like, why did I have no say in this? So when it comes to me, I never thought it was actually, this is another thing, Sadie, this is my opinion. No joke. This is my true opinion on it. I think they're hurting the youth. They're hurting the mentality of these kids thinking that they can get handouts and over handouts. People are always going to bail me out. If I do this, I'm going to get this. We have a really weak youth system out there. I don't care if you're watching this. You can give me all the hate you want. You guys are weak. And it's the truth. They don't know what is what these days. So this kind of thing, in my opinion, as much as they think it helps them, it hurts them. Yeah. It hurts them so much. So not people like you though, Sadie. You're completely different. You're 26.
Because they won't like work 3 jobs.
No, Sadie, not everybody. You have to understand. You're an anomaly. No one has 2 to 3 jobs. No one.
I'll take that.
No, I mean, dead serious with you. Like you are not in this conversation with me, and you can still take the money and run. But I'm not even talking about you at all. It's all the other people that I'm talking about right now that do not deserve to get this taken away because they didn't deserve any of it to begin with.
Oh, I had friends who didn't even work. They would get money. They would get their tuition paid, and I would like lose my fucking mind. They would get sorry, but we're allowed to say bad words. We're not like we're not
This is called real estate shit.
Yeah. They would get their everything paid. They would get money to pay for their rent, and it would always be more than their rent was to share a room with somebody. And then they'd get money to live off of. And then they wouldn't have a job. And they're out here like rolling deep, and I'm like bartending till 2 a.m. and then doing it just so but like life's not fair. Also like I feed into people's Medicare, and my money feeds into social services, and I don't get that. I don't reap those benefits, but I live in America, and these are the choices I make.
And look at the life you're designing for yourself and the quality of life you're going to have in comparison to those people as well.
And if anything from this conversation is that who you vote for matters and what you vote for matters.
True.
Not just on a presidential level, on a state level. Like,
I agree.
That's how we end up here.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you 2 questions because one, I'm going to say something, and one, I'm going to ask you a quick question. And I'm not trying to get too political, but do you think this changes the way a voter views their vote based on being a youth and getting your college or some of your portion of your college taken away? Like, would you then go and be like, you know what?
Absolutely.
Kind of would, huh?
Those that see the value and getting the 10 grand.
What else is going to give me? If I keep it in office, is going to take the whole thing away from me next year?
It's like a little carrot.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think that young people, if we look at the demographics, don't vote as much as older demographics, and
they're getting into that though.
Yeah, but like when I remember I lived in San Francisco when Trump got elected, and everyone was raging, "Oh my God, I can't believe this!" And I was like, "Well, did you vote?" No. Okay, well then why are you mad?
Yeah,
like,
you need to be quiet.
You can't be mad about it just the same
way. I
way.
learned that a while ago.
Yeah, and if you're gonna cheer
all
for
politics, it's all politicians. It's not.
It is
one or the other or one side or the other.
It's all sides. Oh, agreed.
All politics. Yeah. It's all politicians.
Couldn't agree more.
The system needs to be reformed.
Yeah, but that means that as much as I love you saying that, you reform it, and our entire democracy has to be collapsed.
Maybe that was a poor choice of words. But
if we all just don't vote, then it'll reset.
I completely agree with you, though.
Of just the career politician, and
yes,
they're
actually career politicians need to have a different type of regimen that they go through than just being.
Before that can be bought.
Agreed. I mean, all they're doing is trying to be bought their entire life, and that's how they make their. It's terrible.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sponsored by Moderna.
I also haven't seen we haven't seen that deletion of the loans, and a part of me doesn't feel like it's gonna happen. I don't know. Like it's
gonna happen.
I just feel like
Sadie, it's
something's
gonna happen
for me, and it's not. I'm not gonna qualify for some reason.
What's gonna happen is people
87,000 more IRS agents will make. It happen.
They just
they will
on
find
80.
the money.
Yep, I'm waiting for the audit.
They will find the money.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. They will find the money. Wow. Okay, so that was a very good intake on that. I think that was smart. You know, it was nice to hear what you guys thought on that take. I think it was a very healthy conversation.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of all on the same page, you know, because I think we were all in our youth. We take the money and run, you know. But as the older you get, you kind of ask more questions and try to understand why and, you know, where it's coming from and just different.
You're writing that check.
You're right. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
Oh, you're gonna write me the $10,000 check? That's fine. I'll leave my money. I'm kidding.
Done. You guys heard it here. Well, you know, I think it was a good segment today. We covered a lot of topics. I hope everybody here got some good info and content from us, whether it be the hyper-local market stats, whether it be going over national headlines and breaking them down to showing the true facts and giving you guys clarity on where the market really is and what they're really trying to tell you, and then kind of mixing up some humor and shit that we have in there, just some normal day topics. So I think today we killed it. I'm looking forward to the future weeks that we have. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank Sadie for being such a great host. I want to thank our marketing people, all 15,000 of you. Thank you guys for doing all the things that you guys do. Shout out to Bam. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to all the people that's helped us out. And I look forward to next week. We're going to have some really good topics for you guys. So be sure to check in. So I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.